We are talking about journaling today. I've talked about this before in my channel. I will link this previous video in the description below if you want to watch it. Today I will be focusing on some tips that I thought might be useful for someone that wants to start journaling or already started and it's a bit all over the place. I have a few tips for you. As someone that's been journaling for years, I was 7 years old when I got my first ever journal and I immediately started writing on it until today, basically. So yeah, let's go. I have all the tips for you. Hi, hello, welcome. If you're new here, I'm Catz. And I've been getting a few new subscribers, so thank you so much for being here. And if you are an oldie, thank you so much for sticking by. I make some vlogs for you if you are new here. I make vlogs, I make these sit-down chatty videos. I have a few get-readies with me, with my curly hair and makeup videos, a few hauls. And I do want to start making some things a bit different, so subscribe if you are interested in watching more videos. But enough with the intro, I have some journaling tips for you today. So let's start with an obvious one. If you want to start journaling, have a notebook that is only used for that. You must have a journal, and I would advise you to make it a pretty one. In my case, I've had quite a few journals throughout my life. Nowadays, I have this one, and this is just a plain black notebook, and I just got some stickers to make it more fun. I would advise you as well to go for a smaller notebook so that you can easily keep it in a drawer, or you can easily take it with you on vacation, for example. I would not advise you to use like a big notebook like this one. Smaller is better for journaling. Another tip, and maybe it's obvious as well, but I wanted to include it here, you want to make your journal secret. Only you can read it, otherwise it ruins the entire purpose of having a journal. Tip number 3 is to choose like a journaling spot. You want to know exactly where you will be journaling. Otherwise it's an obstacle to create that habit. For me, for example, I journal in bed. I've always done it since I was a kid. Actually, when I was a child, I used to journal on my desk, I think, but in my teenage years and since I am an adult, which is quite recent, I've been journaling in bed and it works for me. The important thing is that you have a spot for journaling. And related with that, I would advise you to keep your journal at least near the place where you will be journaling. In my case, I keep it in my bedside table, so that is accessible in my journaling spot. And this works like a trigger when I go to bed, since that is my journaling spot. If I am not like crazy sleepy and if I am alone, I will remember, oh, okay, let me journal for a bit. I'm in my journaling spot. Once you figured out what your journaling spot will be, I would also advise you to choose a journaling time. Will you be journaling in the morning? When you wake up, during breakfast? Will you be journaling at night, before bed, during the afternoon, maybe during your lunch break? For me, I like to journal right before bed, and it makes sense, because my, again, journaling spot is my bed. And I've also journaled in the afternoon, on the weekends, for example, if I don't have much to do and I'm alone, I also journal during the afternoon, but my journaling time is the evening. Again, this is really useful if you are trying to create a habit. You want to limit the obstacles and you want to trigger that action. If you know this is my spot, this is the time when I journal, then it will be more automatic for you to, start doing it, to just pick up your journal and start writing. Get yourself a nice pen, get yourself a pen that you actually like to write with. If you don't have a nice pen, then buy one, okay? For me, I like Bic simple black or blue big pens. Those are my all-time favorite. It's really pleasing for me to write with those pens. Whenever I try to write with like a different pen, like a cheaper one, those freebies that sometimes hotels or companies give us, for example, those pens are usually terrible and it's just not pleasant to write with them. And you want your writing to be pleasant so that you want to do it more, so that you want to write more. So again, we are here just cutting out obstacles to you creating your journaling routine. Now, let's talk about really journaling, okay? You have your journal, you have your pen, you have your journaling spot and time, and now you are just about to start your first journal entry. I would advise you to always date your entries, because sometimes you will probably, most likely, want to go back on past entries and you will want to know when you were in that place on your mind, on your life. You know, it's really interesting to now, for example, we are in April. It's really interesting to go back like 1-2 years in our journals and like, where was I this exact time 2 years ago? So it is cool to date your journal entries. I will advise you to do that, definitely. Another tip, and I think this might be the most important one, is keep it simple. Don't overthink it, especially when you are starting to journal. Just write. Take your journal, take your pen and write whatever. Don't worry about it being pretty, about your writing being impeccable or grammatically correct. Don't worry about any of that. Just write. It does not have to make sense. You are just figuring it out, you know, and hopefully trying to create this habit. So keep it simple. Don't overthink it. Just write whatever. And most likely words will flow naturally once you just start, but you do have to start. Now, you might find it a little weird if you haven't done it before to be writing on a notebook as if you were talking to someone else. So you have to use your imagination here. Write as if you were writing a letter to yourself, because basically that's what you are doing. Or, and this is more what I actually do, write as if you were writing to this outer universe being, like this alien or spirit or just imaginary being that only exists to you. Like almost as if your journal had a soul of itself, you know? And why am I telling you this? Because the idea is that you feel comfortable writing in your journal so that you can be brutally honest, to be vulnerable. And it can be a little bit difficult for us to be vulnerable, even if you are just writing on a piece of paper. It can be hard, so it's good to use your imagination on your behalf. In this case, for me, it works to imagine that my journal is like a friend of mine. It's like, again, that's my journal has a soul for itself. This is what I've been done since I was 7 years old, and I've kept it like this ever since. So maybe this is like a childish point of view, but if it works, it works. And that's it. These are the tips that I have for you today. No need to complicate it. No need to overdo it. It's quite simple. And again, the most valuable tip that I have for you, it's just write. Just do it. And I think that the other tips that I brought to you today can help you more to start and to create the habit. Now, I really like to talk about this. I love journaling, and I have it helped me, really helped me throughout my life. But I do want to know if this is something that you like to hear about. Do you want me to talk more about journaling? Let me know in the comment section below. And let me know, are you thinking about starting a journal for yourself? I hope so. I really advise anyone to do it. It's really good, and yeah, I can talk about this more and more if you want me to. Just let me know. I hope you liked this one. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for more. And thank you so much for those of you that are already subscribed. And I will see you in the next video. Bye. Not this. It's something that. Oh. Ai, porque é que é tão difícil começar, valha-me Deus. If you. Foda-se. Just terrible. It's just. It's not. God damn it, my neighbor. Or like this. You know?